For Mia, the neighborhood felt perfectly safe. It was a place where quiet streets and houses felt like permanent shelters from the outside world. That changed when Ethan arrived at school looking physically drained. He was jittery and clearly struggling, a sharp contrast to the calm routine of their normal morning. He explained that every night, starting just after midnight, he could hear soft, rhythmic footsteps moving across the attic floor directly above his bed. Then his things started disappearing: comic books, a missing flashlight, and snacks from his desk. His parents blamed his younger brother, but Ethan knew this didn't fit his brother's habits. When adults dismiss these kinds of anomalies as imagination, children are forced to process the fear in isolation. Ethan was left to track the sounds and the missing items entirely on his own. Ethan finally showed Mia and their friend Noah proof that he wasn't imagining things. Their skepticism vanished the moment they saw what he had found. He had a photo of small, dirty footprints on the hardwood floor, leading straight to the attic's pull cord, marking a clear path into the ceiling. The three of them decided to stop waiting for the adults to listen. They planned to head into the attic that afternoon to see exactly what was moving around up there. Physical evidence like this changes the situation. You can no longer ignore the presence of a threat. You have to choose whether to investigate it or live with the unknown. They gathered at Ethan's house late that afternoon. The attic ladder stood as the final barrier between them and the source of the midnight footsteps. They climbed the creaky wooden ladder one by one and pushed through the hatch into the dark, dust-filled space under the roof. Tucked behind a row of old storage boxes, they found a small living space. It was a nest made of bundled blankets, surrounded by empty food wrappers and a worn-out backpack. This diagram shows the house's structural layout. The intruder's blankets rested directly on the attic joists, just inches above Ethan's pillow. At this distance, the person could hear every sound below, tracking when the family went to sleep and woke up. Suddenly, a sharp noise came from a dark corner of the rafters. Something was moving in the shadows with them. The kids scrambled back toward the ladder in a state of total panic, tumbling down the steps and running out of the house as fast as they could. Finding signs of a person in a space that should be empty is a specific kind of terror. It means the privacy of the home has been completely compromised. The next day, the group met at the local park. The open air and sunshine felt like a necessary escape from the dark corners of Ethan's attic. While they were talking, they spotted a quiet, thin boy near the playground. He was wearing the same dirty clothes from the day before and looked visibly hungry. When the boy noticed them watching, his face filled with fear, and he immediately turned and walked away. The boy's small frame matched the size of the footprints Ethan had photographed. He was the same age as them, and he looked like he was searching for the very things that had gone missing from Ethan's room. The person Ethan had been fearing for weeks was a child with nowhere to go. The presence in the attic was a boy hiding in the only shelter he could find. That night, the situation reached a boiling point. Ethan's parents finally heard the footsteps themselves and called the police to investigate the intruder. Instead of a violent confrontation, the police found a 14-year-old runaway named Liam. He was terrified and gave up immediately when the officers reached his hiding spot. This blueprint shows how he did it. Liam had been entering through a shattered gable vent on the roofline, a small opening that had gone unnoticed by the family. When they saw how scared and hungry Liam was, Ethan's parents shifted their approach. They gave him food and a warm blanket while they worked with the authorities to help him. Bringing the situation into the light changed the family's perspective. The intruder was actually a boy who was far more vulnerable than the people he had been haunting. Social workers took over from there, moving Liam from the dangerous, improvised shelter of the attic into a professional care facility. He was eventually reunited with his family, who had been searching for him. The crisis was a result of his circumstances, and the danger to Ethan's family was gone. A few weeks later, Liam came back to the school to visit. He looked different, rested and healthy, and he wanted to thank the kids who had discovered him. The mystery was solved. Ethan and his friends learned that sometimes the things that scare us the most are just people who are desperately waiting to be found.